What's up, everybody? It's Michael or Penguin 77 here today for another reaction video. I'm here today with my buddy,
That's a 1, 2, 3.
and we're here today to do this rise and fall of Isekai anime to piss me off. Uh, Nither's already seen it.
Isekai is bad.
Fuck you, Isekai good.
Adventure's good.
Trash anime is great.
Isekai bad. Anything else good?
No, Full Metal Alchemist is trash.
An anime culture today.
So
In
let's see.
fact, it's interesting enough that isekai is almost considered a genre by many. People used to call it, I don't know, fantasy. Not anymore. Isekai is its whole world of fantasy in itself. I'm a sucker for this kind of thing. I like the concept of isekai anime. Getting trapped in another world is basically how I started watching anime, hoping I could trap myself in that world. Today I wanted to make a little bit of a retrospective because almost synonymous with isekai anime is trash harem anime. Unfortunately, it got that reputation because of a lot of trash harem that are isekai anime. There are unfortunately, though, a lot of really good ones, though, that don't get the respect they deserve. So this video, I wanted to be talking about the rise and fall of isekai anime. I wanted to talk about isekai anime, where it started, where it went, its peaks and its heights, and also why it fell off tremendously to some degree, to the point that they're just freaking adapting anything. I mean, they just adapted an isekai anime about a vending machine. Someone got transported to another world with a vending machine.
What
The
the
rise
hell?
and fall of isekai anime because someone had to do it. Alright, let's jump right into the meat and potatoes because we're gonna start with Digimon. Digimon was my first isekai anime, and I think it was the first isekai anime
I
of
remember I
note.
was thinking to myself,
There's,
was that?
yeah, there's manga from my first anime as well.
I have not
Was
seen
Isekai?
anything for Digimon, but
Digimon.
I was thinking last night. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna go through every single isekai just so I can make a list ranking all of them.
Isekai's are ranked.
The true isekai ranking list.
Actually, Isekai's bad.
Fuck off.
The two ranks.
In 1999, the original Digimon Adventure 1 aired, and it was amazing. It wasn't considered an isekai anime because that entire term didn't exist yet. It wasn't a blossoming genre. But the concept of getting trapped into another world is just so appealing. It's so amazing. Digimon is such a fantastic world and fantastic time, and I love it so much. But this isn't the Digimon video. I just kind of wanted to get, into where it started before really talking about how when it picked up steam, where it went off the rails, and where everything crashed and is ready to die. Digimon's popularity didn't start off the isekai boom. Digimon was much more comparable to something like Pokemon. So the concept of pocket monsters or little monster friends that follow you around was a much more pivotal element that other companies and leeches could latch onto and start milking. Do you have any idea how many Pokemon clones and Digimon clones there are out there? Now, I wouldn't say either of these two are clones to each other, even though I do think both of them take inspiration from each other. But that's really not the point of this video. Now, if you want me to do a Pokemon versus Digimon type thing at some point, let me know. Definitely subscribe for future epic analysis type things. Anyway, in regards to Isekai, despite Digimon being huge and a mainstay in pop culture, with so many fans that even love it today, despite a lot of the less than good Digimon products that have, come into existence. Look, Digimon Season 1,
Ugh.
2, 3, 4, and 6 are all so good. Some of the games are really good too. But a lot of stuff is less than stellar in many ways. The impact Digimon had on the world is much more in the merchandise department and much more in the monster friends to the boys and girls department than it was in the isekai area. So I don't think it caused any form of isekai boom. Now, after this, there are isekai stories because the concept of getting lost in another world or transporting to another world, they aren't exactly super mega novel. It's not like it's a concept that revolutionized the way fantasy was written. There were some moderately popular anime here and there, like Zero no Tsukaima or Kiba, that are both kind of
The Familiar of Zero, which is the first one you mentioned, it had 4 seasons. It was decent.
Actually, don't know much about those two.
It's an isekai where he basically becomes her slave,
Uh
and
huh.
she's a very big tsundere.
Uh huh.
It's alright. She's really high up on the tsundere scale, though. They get married, and she still is a tsundere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? But neither can cause an actual
I've not
boom
seen
per
Kaiba.
se. And then Sword Art Online happened. I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about how pivotal Sword Art Online was to the actual modern culture of isekai anime because it basically is the grandfather of all the garbage that gets spewed out today. I am one of the rare individuals that thinks Sword Art Online is pretty damn good. Okay, I wouldn't say it's a...
The first part of SAO is really good.
Yeah, I was actually
We don't talk
watching the
about
first season.
ALO. We do not talk. ALO is a piece of shit that should have died.
Gale?
Gun Gale is up and down. It doesn't
Kinda
really.
like that.
It doesn't really fit with Sword Art though. It doesn't really. It's just like a weird.
Yeah, I
offshoot.
liked it, but it didn't really fit with the.
I mean, I liked it. A lot of people hate on it. I liked it. Not as much as the actual SAO. Then he went back to
Like
Alfheim.
guns.
And they're like, why do you go back to Alfheim? But then everyone stopped watching after that point.
Everyone stopped watching after they got sad.
So
was the last one.
no one saw Alicization or War of the Underworld, which is like, to me, the peak of Sword Art. It was really good.
I don't know.
My
It's a
opinion.
masterpiece. I wouldn't say it's an 8 out of 10, but I would say it's a 7.5 out of 10. I'm thinking of doing
Yes.
an entire video, like a no one understands Sword Art Online, because I feel like signals got so crossed because of how popular it got, so how big the anti-Sword Art Online revolution got. Crazy that it aired over 10 years ago in 2012.
Things get too
but
big,
it got
people
so
stay on it.
big, it got so huge that it became the grandfather of the isekai anime genre. Sword Art Online is an anime where people get trapped in a game, and if they die in the game, they die in real life. And then they finally leave that game only to get trapped in a different game, and if they die in that game,
Oop.
they die in or something like that. Who cares?
Kinda.
OP's banger, though.
Point is, it's a classic
First one?
isekai style anime. Except instead of a fantasy world, it's through science fiction means. Not the point, it's the same concept. Sword Art Online got really big. The merch is so huge, despite the fact that we haven't had any Sword Art Online intellectual property released in a while, and even what was released in the Alicization stuff wasn't even that big. There's still so much love for Sword Art Online out there. It's still so massive. Asuna is still considered one of the top waifus ever. Even in
top
the less
10, right?
popular Sword Art Online
think
too,
so, yeah.
Shinon is also considered one of the top waifus ever. Kirito's swords are some of the biggest cosplay merch sold.
Yeah.
And the concept of Kirito, the black swordsman,
I
completely
mean, there's swords
overrated
everywhere.
The Black Swordsman. Oh my God.
from history.
No, you ain't.
Used to make people like me extraordinarily upset.
Yes.
All that said and done, it follows the typical isekai trope. Hero dude gets transferred to another world, is incredibly overpowered, develops a harem to follow him, saves the world. That's the isekai trope that's become so popular, they don't even feel the need to describe that in isekai anime today. At this point, it's just like, okay, this dude is in this world to defeat the Demon King. That's just the mainstay plot. Every isekai has that plot. They don't even feel the need to explain any of it.
Let me see. I mean, that's the case for a lot of them, but in recent memory, it's not. They just fuck around at this point. They don't really have a goal anymore.
Yeah, but there is a demon lord somewhere. They always mention it at least once. So
Well, yeah, that is a mainstay. So
can we not have demons? Can we have like the
Angels?
the Fey Wilds?
But the fact that he's in an isekai world, obviously he's gonna get a harem and beat the Demon King. That just comes with the territory. Now, before the explosion that happened, some other isekai stories started to get adapted because there's clearly a market for isekais, but of course, in the beginning, it's the good ones getting adapted. You got your Log Horizon, in 2013, you get trapped in...
Haven't seen that one yet.
Me either. Heard of it.
What is that?
I've heard of it.
No, I was gonna do it with Gabe.
Log.
Whenever he gets around to it.
The game, except instead of focusing on the main character developing the harem stuff, it's focused a lot more on the political and geopolitical stuff going on in the world. All the NPCs and different
that's what I
cultures
like about
are now
isekais
actual
is the
characters,
political
like actual
atmosphere.
human beings. It starts tackling the concept of you're stuck in a game now, so when you die, you just respawn. So death is meaningless. And to the NPCs, who when they die, they stay dead, well, all of a sudden, everyone trapped in that world is just kind of like an immortal god to them. It's kind of stressful. They have to develop culture and morality from the absolute ground up, and it's a completely interesting take on this concept of trapped in a game. Other isekai anime that aired around that time were like No Game, No Life, for example. It's a story that's incredibly funny about basically your light Yagami from Death Note main character, but he's playing games. It's an alternate world governed by games, and whoever wins the games proceeds to actually do something with himself in the world. Humanity is the lowest on the totem pole, so the main character gets the harem, actually goes around defeating all the enemies with his intellect and stuff, where the actual fights in the story are really fun. It's a really dynamic, fun story that no one's gonna watch and be like, ah yes, this is a fascinating, brilliant take on humanity.
Yeah. It's just entertaining, you know.
Yeah, I outthought you, outthinking me.
It's definitely much more popcorn food, but it's definitely enjoyable and fun and an interesting twist.
See, I'm not saying as a big fan of isekais, I'm not saying that they're groundbreaking or really, you know, good in terms of plot development or breaking new ground. I'm just saying they're good in terms of I like watching them. You know, they're enjoying to watch.
But when they become the same, which
Even
one's which?
Even me as a lover, I've watched like around 60
You can literally
isekais.
saw me 2 different scenes in 2 different anime. I'm like, it's the same thing.
I've seen around 60 isekais, and now it's starting to get to me. You know, sometimes.
What's considered overpowered. The main
Especially
character
the same thing.
2022 had some really bad
genius,
ones.
instead of by the fact that he could pull swords out of his butt and develop new power-ups that no one else in history was ever able to figure out. Kirito can use 2 swords at the same time. Oh my god, he's so wrong.
Oh my god.
Anime in that time
Konosuba's great.
/ era that came out that are still remembered very fondly are stuff like Konosuba, a parody-like take on the entire
Very
isekai
much
style,
satirical
where he develops
on the
his harem,
isekai
except
genre.
instead of being a badass, he's just kind of an asshole. And ReZero. Imagine isekai.
And ReZero is one of my favorite animes of all time, and I will fight people on that.
Oh, cool, I'm dead again.
But a horror. He gets his
Yeah, these two protagonists are just normal people, and
again
they get
at the
fucked
previous,
over.
quote-unquote,
Especially Subaru.
suffering
Subaru
the
definitely.
experience of dying again and again and again, really delving deep into the psyche of a main character in an isekai story. In the 2012 to 2014 era, isekai got so big, there was even a Naruto Shippuden isekai movie. There were
What?
anti-isekais, which is like devil is a part-timer,
Yep.
where the devil in this fantasy world got transported
I've seen
to the
most of
normal
that
world and had
isekai
to start
movie.
movie. McRonald.
I mean,
I
Devil
not like it
Part-Timer,
much.
it's a pseudo isekai. You know, it's one of those reverse isekais. Where
Though
you
it
get
was
taken
isekai, it was just
into
literally
real
just an isekai.
Yeah, still isekai.
Try not
Here
to
we go.
copyright me. Soon after
Second
that, the
season was
isekai
bad.
started becoming a little more hit and miss. The
was sad.
mainstays of the isekai staple definitely picked up steam and definitely were fantastic in their own right in many, many ways. But people realized that it is so easy to monetize this concept. Every lonely dude sitting in their bedroom jerking off 14 times a day watching anime definitely wants to follow a self-insert protagonist, become overpowered, and get a harem. That's when the hit or miss era of isekai began. We covered the rise. Now let's talk about the plateau of isekai. Even in this plateau stage, I would say there's still some good
A
stuff.
cataclysm of
Overlord
wow.
follows the concept of main character trapped in another world, extremely overpowered, gets a lot of people that love him, harem. Alright, we checked all the boxes, but Overlord definitely has some gimmicks that helps it stand out. Overlord's a great and really fun story with a very immersive
Second
world.
season's the best
Gate,
season.
on the other hand, was another story that came out at around the same time in 2015, and I say Gate flopped. I did not like Gate. Gate
I like
about they
Gate.
discovered a portal
Man,
to an
fuck
alternate
Gate.
world
I like
in
Gate.
Japan, and in this alternate world, the main character, who's this Japanese soldier dude, gets a harem, and it's military versus magic. It gets boring. At this point, so many isekai stories were made, the line
Sounds like
between
it was
what is isekai and
Hangman,
what's
or
just
what the name was.
considered fantasy.
Was that?
That sounds like the other one with like, what was it? Hangya was her name?
I don't know. I like Gate. I mean, it's decent. I just like the military aspect of it.
Completely blurred. Stories like Grimgar came out. Grimgar
I haven't
is
seen
an
Grimgar.
isekai that's not an isekai. A lot of people are like adventurers in this adventure
Nice, yeah.
world, and they're adventuring and they're doing isekai things. But wait a second, were they ever in a different world that transported here? I mean, we don't know. Their memories are wiped. We don't know if they started somewhere else. But I guess it's sort of an isekai. I keep hearing people refer to try not to pick up girls in a dungeon as an isekai.
It's not an
anime, 'cause,
isekai.
You know, it has the main character that's out there fighting demons and stuff. He gets a harem. He follows the isekai tropes, but it's not an isekai.
It's not.
It literally starts in that same world, and if you look at so many anime websites, they label it as an isekai anime.
What?
Even though there's literally no
Yep.
isekai part to the anime. Isekai became more of a trope at this point than
Yeah.
it even became a genre. Standouts
Yeah.
in this time period were definitely stuff like Saga of Tanya the Evil. This dude who gets reborn
Tanya.
into
I just Saga Tanya Eel just didn't hit for me. Didn't hit.
But military. You
Yeah,
like the
but
military.
it's just They don't go into any character development. Like they're all like fucking flat as shit. Isekai Quartet flushed out the characters more than this anime did. That's the sad part.
another world as this
I don't know, maybe they die later.
dictator, Lolly Hitler, flying around
She is
killing
Lolly
all these
Hitler.
people, denying the existence
Basically,
of
the
God,
Germany is.
and Drifters being a story where these epic legendary heroes of myth and legend are killed and they wake up in an alternate universe trying to make a name for themselves and survive in that world. These are definitely good stories that I enjoyed, that yes, they are isekai. But now, unfortunately, it had to contest with a lot of garbage. Welcome to 2016-2017,
Uh-oh.
the garbage contestment era. This is
We're in
the
Battle for
season
Azor.
here where
Alright,
isekai
how pissed off? How pissed off am I gonna
And
be?
now in the battle, we're now in like the
Guys, goes to
Legion.
God. God's like, you died before we expected, so I'm just gonna send you to another world now where you're gonna have to defeat the Demon King and get a harem. But you can take something with you.
Phone.
This isekai's gimmick.
I like
he
smartphone.
takes a smartphone with him. Or Knights and Magic. Knights and Magic is a story about a dude who dies,
have not
gets
seen
transported
Knights
to
and
another world as a baby. What? There's no reason to make this an isekai anime. Just have him born there. Oh, and he's overpowered and stuff and all that. Bro, why? Why? Just have this character born in this world. Have your Knights and Magic that way. No, it's an isekai. First he was a businessman in Japan.
Did he at least keep his memories though?
Maybe.
If he didn't keep his memories, then there's no fucking point.
Killed so that every
There's
single
no
person
point.
watching could be a lot more, involved and feel like, oh man, relatable. If I die, my worthless existence, I'll also maybe be isekai'd and reborn as a little girl in some other world. Sengoku Knight's Blood, Death March, The Master of Ragnarok. Oops, I accidentally summoned a Demon Lord. All these are anime that came out at around the same time period as well, and they definitely did not help in this department. They have the same gimmicks, the same cringe concepts. And it's all about getting transported to another world where in this world you're either the incredibly overpowered dude that managed to get a harem of women around him to help him defeat the other nations. That's the Ragnarok one. Or you get summoned to another world, except you're an extremely overpowered demon guy, and the people that summon you now, since they are bound to your spirit, are forced to be your harem. It's a lolly and it's an elf. Yep, you get your choice of waifus, you get all your different archetypes, and bam-o, that's the harem of the main character who was summoned to this world as an overpowered god. This is the muddling era, because even when you have some good isekai anime, how do they stand out against this? They all are competing with the same concepts and the same values. The same themes are being tackled, the same style is just happening again and again. Even the good ones that follow this format, because I
Death
don't
March
think
is
that
okay.
any story could be considered good or bad purely depending on the tropes it uses. It's how it uses those tropes and it's how it writes its characters that's really what makes it good. I'm not going to roast any individual series or character based
Ragnarok
on the
was
tropes
okay,
it
too.
follows. And I mention all this because in this hodgepodge of absolute garbage that came out, Slime Isekai came out. And
Yeah!
pretty good.
My number one! My number one! Let's go! Slime best.
I'm not going to say it's amazing. It's definitely not Drifters, it's not ReZero, it's not Konosuba, it's not Log Horizon, but it's a damn good show. Dude dies, transported to another world. Of course, while dying, he has to play into all the memes, be like, please erase my browser history. As he dies, transported to another world.
No!
Slime, that's like the weakest thing ever.
Delete everything.
Slime's not. This slime learns every single magic power on the face of the planet and becomes incredibly broken, along with his friend, the Tsundere Dragon. Manages to get a harem, take over the world, is extremely powerful. It follows the same generic tropes and concepts to the point that, why would I watch this? It's just like every single other isekai anime that came before it. It's lost and hidden in this hodgepodge of garbage, except this is actually a good story about building friendships. But now that
Oh,
we're
I
in
like
these
the world
fantasy
building.
worlds that are all taking place in the medieval era, why don't we make them darker? Enter Rise of the Shield Hero.
Hey. The Edge Lord.
We don't talk about season 2. Season 1 was amazing.
Follow the same trope again. You know, you got your main character transported to another world. He is the legendary shield hero of myth and legend. He will defeat the Demon King. He actually proceeds to forget his harem and stuff, except we're gonna make this dark. We're gonna have some woman blackmail him and claim that he assaulted her, and then even though she's lying, the entire world is gonna be up against him, and he's
No
gonna live in
IQ.
darkness and sadness, and he's gonna buy slave women, and he's gonna free them, but they're gonna love him and be thankful for him, so they'll still be his harem. It's the exact same concept again, except, yeah, let's make the main character a complete edgelord and hated by society. Yes, Twitter will like this one a lot. But you know what?
Ah, yes.
It helped it stand out. This crazy new impactful way of storytelling made Shield Hero stand out, and people talk about it today, even though legitimately it's the same trope. I would say it does all the tropes worse than Slime Isekai, but it's more famous than Slime Isekai just because it stood out more through the gimmick that this dude's hated by society. He's the Spider-Man instead of the
Spider-Man.
Superman. Kenja no Mago,
He's the
Mao-sama Retry, Ari Fureta, Cop Craft, Isekai.
What?
Let me see. Let me see this. What we got?
Kenja no Ma.
All right, Wise Man's Grandchild. I liked. I mean, it's tropey, so but it was enjoyable to watch.
Mao-sama retry.
Retry I liked.
Why?
I just like the world building. I mean, it is really basic.
The world build.
Really basic. I don't know. I like him not world building, just building his village, and he's bullshit. You know, it's just.
Oh, you just like the Minecraft part. Okay.
Arifureta.
Arifureta was basically like Shield Hero, just edgy guy, and then the animation was shit.
But with guns.
But with guns.
Copcraft.
Have not seen Copcraft.
Isekai Cheat Magician.
Have not seen Cheat Magician, although it was.
Ni no Kuni. Hatage the incredibly.
This one was just fucking weird. He's just a wrestler.
Cringe wrestler guy that got transported to another world and wants to have sex with every single animal that
Yep.
he walks across. Yeah,
Who?
that's also.
Fuck.
All those that I mentioned to you, that's the Isekai garbage pile. That's the sludge pile. That's the quicksand that every single Isekai anime that comes out has to compete with. They're all the same, barring a single little gimmick. One gimmick sets them apart from every single other.
Gimmicks.
So at this point, Isekai has devolved.
I love gimmick
We're in
bosses.
the fall
Ugh.
area. All right, in case you haven't noticed, we've started the decline. We've peaked. In this decline, they realized we're not going to convince them that we're original, because we're not. Every single one is a bland-looking protagonist trapped in another world, for some reason, who's incredibly broken, gets a harem, defeats the Demon King. And we know the formula works. These lonely people will watch this show, they will fall in love with the characters, they will wish they are the main character, and we will sell crazy
I'm in this video and I don't like it.
amounts of merch, and we will be incredibly
Amory bad.
the winning formula. But we have so much competition, we have to stand out. Welcome to the era of gimmicks. Every single one of these shows now has a gimmick to it. In the
This is
gimmick
the
era,
coil.
everything changes. It's the Fire Nation Attack equivalent of Isekai anime, okay? Listen, this is the show. Didn't I say make my abilities average in the next life?
Not
You ready
seen
for
it.
the gimmick of this one? Person who is incredibly exceptional. She's exceptional in every possible way. She dies, she meets God. God's like, I will revive you in the next life because you died suddenly, and I will make you epic. And she says, please, I beg you, all I want to be is average in the next life. So she goes to the next life, where she's incredibly overpowered and tries to make believe she's just average. I know, the gimmicks can
Wow.
It only got worse since then. There used to be, like, character gimmicks. Like, this is the time period that the overpowered hero, the overly cautious hero, aired. And I
Cautious
personally
Hero
think
is
that's one of the funniest
decent.
Isekai anime of all time. I love overly cautious hero. His gimmick
He's
is
a bit
he's
funny.
so powerful because he's so cautious. So, like, he'll start off at the starting town, and in the starting town, he'll do so many push-ups.
He's
do everything
Yeah.
he can.
He's that guy who puts
Gain
other
one
side
experience
quests.
point at a time
Before the
until
main quest.
He's mean
confident
wizards.
that he has nothing
Yeah.
to worry about.
He is,
So
yeah.
he'll go up against the slime, the first enemy, and this is after months of training himself, driving his spiritual guide, goddess lady, insane. So he'll go up against the slime, and he'll rain hellfire upon it. He'll use, like, level 99 attacks on the level 2 slime just to make sure it's dead, and it has no regenerative abilities, and there's nothing to worry about. He's overly cautious to the extreme, and it actually comes in handy sometimes. It's a very funny anime, but the gimmick is self-imposed. It's like, here's gonna be the gimmick. The gimmick is gonna be the main character tries to be average, or the main character is overly cautious. We get into the minds of these characters a lot, and it's completely hit or miss depending on if the main character is even remotely likable. My opinion, overly cautious hero is likable. My opinion, average girl
opinion.
is not likable, even a little. The Eighth Son, Are You Kidding Me, is an isekai
Not
anime
seen.
that came out in 2020. It's about a dude who dies, gets reincarnated into another world as the Eighth Son, and wants to make a name for himself. Are you kidding me? He had to get reincarnated as the Eighth Son? Just crazy.
They liked
The
fucking
plot
back
on
then.
this one, like, you gotta really scratch your head to wonder where are they gonna go from here. In my personal experience, this is around when I stopped watching isekai anime, unless it was something completely exceptional. It became depressing.
I stopped at the plateau.
Guy that got resummoned to the other world as a demon lord with the women that are just slave servant people now that are bonded to him, that got a sequel, but No Game No Life did not. Same with another.
Who?
No Game No Life can't get another sequel because they're fighting. It's like a lawsuit shit, so they can't.
Isekai, the guy that's standing on a
Man,
mountain
Mason
lies
got
around,
lawsuited.
this dude who gets transported to a
Was
game
it
world and lives the generic
was it like
life of the
Spider-Man?
game world.
Hmm?
What type of lawsuit is it? The Mason?
No, it's the name.
Oh, it's Spooderman got it.
Yeah.
Damn.
100 Lives,
It
I
is.
have
In
not
fact,
seen yet.
That one got 3 seasons. We're in an era where the gimmicks they're relying on is getting transported to another world as a vending machine, or transported to another world as a sword.
I like
A
sword.
really overpowered
Damn.
sword. You're not even a person anymore, just a sword to be wielded by a lolly. Okay? Just this season alone, we have 2 separate isekai anime, one transported to another world to become a gardener, and one transported to another world to become a handyman. These are 2.
Hey.
Which one's good? I can't tell.
They're
The same
they're
thing.
both decent. They're both decent.
It's the same
I
thing.
don't know. Farming Life in Another World is pretty good. You're not going there for the plot. You're not.
You go on there for the
It's
Farming
just you're
Simulator
just going
2013.
there for a nice, wholesome time. You know, just a nice time. And Handyman Saito, it's
With
decent.
stuff.
He's just a normal guy, and he just uses his handyman abilities as a thief. So it's a little bit different.
What, do you
Not
like
a
Fix It
lot.
Felix?
Yeah, but he's just basic.
He's just Fix It Felix.
Current season. As I mentioned, I haven't watched any isekai anime pretty much unless I hear something exceptional about it since Overly Cautious Hero. I heard amazing things about Mushoku Tensei, and I just have a hard time stomaching sitting myself down after watching so many.
Jobless Reincarnation is good. It has a lot of things I just don't like about it. And also, everyone just praises it.
Bad ones. That I'm gonna actually like this one. I know I will because I heard so many great things about it, but at the same time, do I really want to see another guy transported to another fantasy world who is overpowered and gets a harem? It is all the tropes. It's not like it breaks any of them. It is the tropes. But again, I'm sure it's good. I heard great things. There was another one that I started reading the manga about.
Uncle in Another World is also decent.
The what?
It's just a little bit different. It's called Uncle in Another World. It's basically it's an isekai, but not an isekai because you're not getting transported. It's basically more of memories of the guy getting isekai'd.
What?
So his uncle, this guy, right? His uncle got transported to another world for like 10 years, came back, and they're just living together, and he just shows him the memories of like what happened when he was isekai'd.
We both isekai, so it is isekai.
Yeah.
So, it is isekai then.
Yeah.
A gamer uncle from another world.
And it still hasn't fucking finished!
Another world.
It's been 6 months!
Years, and he's having a horrible time there because he doesn't know what a tsundere is.
What's up, fans? 6 months.
And 17 years later, he wakes up from his coma back in the real world. He still has magic. He still has portals, stuff that he could do and stuff. And it's a comedy, and it's very funny. It's actually not a self-insert, finally. On stream, I do a series called Based or Bust, where my chat recommends manga for
Based or Bust.
and I check them out, and either they're based or they are a complete bust. On my latest stream, at the time of recording this video, I was asked to react to FFF Class Trash Hero. That's going to be a video on Nuxanor, or perhaps it already is a video out there. Because it was funny, I did kind of enjoy it, but it's a story about a dude who gets transported to another world, he's extremely broken, he beats the Demon King, and then all of a sudden, he's an asshole. He learned nothing from this experience. Time to relive the entire scenario.
He's a dick the whole time.
Following the gimmick formula, again, it's such an oversaturated genre to the point that I think people that say isekai is a genre are mistaken. I think isekai anime is much more of a descriptor as regards to a trope than it is to a genre. Harken back to what I was talking to about just a couple minutes ago, how in Danmachi, the story about getting trapped in a dungeon, try not to pick up girls in a dungeon, that one that has all the isekai tropes, but except for the isekai part, people are still calling it an isekai. I do have good news though, and I am ending on a positive note, believe it or not. I started actually liking isekai again, so I am actually going to Mushoku Tensei a lot more, and that's because I completely changed my mindset about it. I like the trapped in another world trope. I like all of that stuff. I started watching it for the gimmicks, unironically. And it's really thanks to the series I've been doing on Nuxanor Based or Bust. Definitely check out some of those manga readings. They are really funny. I do think that my reactions to a lot of these really bad manga are kind of hilarious. It's almost like watching a cringe compilation, except it's a medium that I really love. Instead of watching people get scammed by influencers selling NFTs. Again, it's fun to laugh about them with you guys. I'm not here expecting, the next ReZero when I'm watching Trapped in Another World forced to become the Demon Queen's husband, okay? I'm not expecting it to be
no.
just expecting to laugh at the sheer stupidity.
He's made that.
No, it's actually one.
I know that this has been a rise and fall
of the YouTube video on it.
Genre or trope or however you want to call it. I have been having fun
watching
anime and reading manga again. I like being
able
to completely differentiate between
and
a story that's just so cringe, it's funny. Isekai anime became like every other trope ever. Everything that's great, everything good, every cool concept becomes a trope at some point. Yeah, giant robots are cool. So there are a lot of really bad giant robot anime. Yeah, battle
The Gundam
royales
scams.
are cool. So for every Fate Zero, which is a fantastic battle royale, you got your Future Diary, which is your more average battle royale.
It was like a soccer battle
And then you
royale.
got your Juni Tyson. I bet you never even heard of that, but that's one of the worst battle royale anime I have ever seen in my entire life. It's just a new trope, and like every other trope, the majority is dog shit. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy that part either. In its own way, even mounds of poop can be used for fertilizer, which is exactly what the gardener who got transported to another world would say. Look at that, amazing, I love this genre so much. This has been the rise and fall of Isekai anime. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, please subscribe, please let me know future rise and falls or other anime topics or discussions you want me to have. But I really think the takeaway is the following. Just like every other trope or every other genre, most stuff is gonna be mid. By the definition of average, most things are average. Just like most Western cop shows.
Don't get mad when I say
It's
mid.
terrifying.
It's gonna be more
Isekai
likely
anime,
than not.
I'm not expecting everyone to be good. I'm expecting everyone to be average. When I find a gem, I'll be surprised. But one thing I could say about Isekai anime, even when it's average, I can laugh at the complete and overall premise because that stuff's hilarious. I love that Isekai anime has a massive title that explains the entirety of the story. I can laugh, I can cringe, and I can have a good time. Like, subscribe.
Just a good time watching Isekai. He makes perfectly good points.
You know, I kind of like thinking, you know, so... Oh no, it's the same thing again. God.
That's you, that's not me. So, as long as anybody just enjoys anime, that I'm fine with completely. You know?
Me when anime isn't isekai, real shit.
Real shit.
Wow, it's anime.
Forget. There's a lot of... He didn't list like all the rest of the Isekai anime. Like, ooh, more recommendations for me to watch.
Nope.
Yes. Maybe just to create a new channel, the Isekai guy. Just put all the, just going over all Isekai.
With his friend, the anti-isekai.
His friend, the anti-Isekai. That'd be funny, right?
Angie.
He didn't mention the Eminence in Shadow, the new one that was airing right now.
It wasn't announced when he was recording.
No, because it was airing at the same time as Sword. That was last season.
I made it. Hasn't heard of it. It's too late.
Well, it's decently popular.
How the fuck am I gonna find anything good with all of its shit?
It needs to all be One Piece. All One Piece.
Yeah, well, I like action eventual, so One Piece good. Naruto good. Yeah.
Too bad we can't get the rest of our friends to watch One Piece. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. This has been a reaction video by me and Nither, where we agree mostly with what Nux says. I still watch Isekai anime because I enjoy trash. I don't care. It's good shit.
It's good. This tasty trash.
Yes, I'm alright.
Like a true Italian, he likes eating trash.
Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Pasta's love, pasta's life.
Pasta.
Anyways, guys, we will see you all in the next video. Bye.